Welcome to the Monday night stream, everyone. I am Mike of Byte-Size Impressions. Thank you very much for being here. I know it's Monday, but we're going to try and be excited about Monday, okay? So before we get rolling into some Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay tonight, which, by the way, despite everything I'm about to discuss, it's a game I can't get out of my head. There's definitely something special about this game. I haven't been able to play it enough to know if it's living up to the hype. It's definitely very special, though. I don't know. It's kind of a hard thing to quantify, but we do have to address some of the controversy that has been stirring up lately. Last night, when I was on my way to bed, I was kind of thinking about, like, what topic can I start tomorrow night's stream with? And I was thinking I might go down the direction of talking about how Cyberpunk 2077 was ultimately, man, what a backstory there has to be there. And it's probably not that interesting one, but it's really shocking how it all played out and really disappointing too. Cyberpunk 2077 is a game that a lot of people feel bamboozled right now, and rightfully so. But before we talk about CDProjektRED, who obviously shoved this game out the door, on console at least anyway, from the PC version that I've played, it seems to look pretty damn good. And I haven't experienced any game breaking bugs yet, but again, I haven't been able to put that much time into it yet. So we'll see what happens in that regard, but I'll be keeping an eye on that. But like the bugginess has been very minimal for me in that game so far. Obviously, though, I dodged a bullet because I almost got the game on console. I had it preloaded on my console hours before it was supposed to go live. I decided last minute to go with PC, and I'm glad I did. I want to start this off by contrasting what CDProjektRED have just done to a studio that did a similar move. Well, they had a similar situation. They had a game that was about to come out around Christmas time, and they went a completely different direction. I want to read what this studio had said in contrast to what CDProjektRED is doing today. Let's see if you can guess who the company is. So, we owe you an apology. We set the release date too hastily, and I'm going to redact some of this, obviously, so I don't give it away just yet. It's a hard lesson, one to take to heart for the future. We know what we want to do to make blank game one of the best this type of game you will ever play, and we continue to work hard to achieve just that. So we apologize and ask for your trust. It's not very often that a studio in this industry can ask for that and not have people laugh them off the face of the earth. That's a bold statement to make. This studio earned it, okay? They had earned it. So, yeah, we ask for your trust. Now, nearing the end of our work, we see many details that need to be corrected. When we release the most important game in our studio's history, we must be absolutely sure that we did everything we could to limit any bugs to a level that will allow you to enjoy the game thoroughly. With this in mind, we took another look at current workloads and what they mean for the team. Even though everyone is working at full speed, we concluded that we need another 12 weeks. Now, this studio, this mysterious studio, in contrast to CDProjektRED today, who are they? Bonus points to anyone that said that was CDProjektRED too. That was CDProjektRED back in 2014. They were supposed to release a game that holiday season, and December 8th, I think it was, in 2014, that studio decided to delay The Witcher 3 into the following year because they wanted that game to be as solid as possible before launch. I mean, okay, so it was supposed to launch February of 2015, but in December they decided we're gonna like the end of February. Isn't that like the end of like a quarter, or if not like the end of the financial year? To make the decision to push that back had to have been hard for them, but they made the right call ultimately. Here's CD Projekt Red, and this is what ultimately had sealed the deal that this had to be discussed tonight at all. They released an apology to the gaming community overnight while I was sleeping. So when I woke up this morning and saw that, I was like, well, there we have it. So let's see this. Okay. So here it is. Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red. Dear gamers, first of all, hold on one second. Okay. I had to take a sip. I was thirsty. First of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last gen consoles before it premiered and, in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Second, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience. The first round of updates has just been released, and the next one is coming within the next 7 days. Expect more, as we will update frequently whenever new improvements are ready. After the holidays, we'll continue working. We'll release 2 large patches, starting with patch number 1 in January. This will be followed by patch number 2 in February. Together, these should fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on last-gen consoles. We will be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of their release. They won't make the game on last gen look like it's running on a high-spec PC or next-gen console, but it will be closer to that experience than it is now. Finally, we would always like everyone who buys our games to be satisfied with their purchase. We would appreciate it if you would give us a chance, but if you are not pleased with the game on your console and don't want to wait for updates, you can opt to refund your copy. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system of PSN or Xbox, respectively. For box versions, please first try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. Should this not be possible, please contact us at helpmerefund@cdprojectred.com, and we will do our best to help you. Starting from today, you can contact us for a week up until December 21st, 2020. Humbly, number of the people, I'm assuming the higher ups of CD Projekt Red. PS, PC gamers will also be getting regular updates and fixes improving the game. This, hold on. Sorry. This was a statement that was made, okay? This was a statement that was made, okay? This is the situation that they're in right now, okay? And here is what they said just a couple of weeks ago, okay? Cyberpunk 2077 runs surprisingly well on current gen consoles, according to CD Projekt's CEO. And this writer, I don't want to butcher the name, Kieran Cryer. Kieran Cryer. I believe this was Games Radar that wrote this. Anyway, CD Projekt joint CEO Adam Kaczynski has praised Cyberpunk 2077's performance on PS4 and Xbox One in an investor call. Okay, this was posted 17 days ago. I took this picture for the sake of this stream today. Okay, speaking earlier this week on Wednesday, Kaczynski said that Cyberpunk 2077's performance on the base PS4 and Xbox One consoles is surprisingly good, I would say, for such a huge world. The CEO went on to say that although the performance on these base consoles is lower than their Pro counterparts, the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, it's still surprisingly good. And then after saying that, this is where they ended up. And let's dissect this, shall we? Okay. First of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. Now, I would almost think that this could maybe possibly, based on their track record in the past, this maybe could have been perceived with good faith. And I've had nothing but good faith for this company. Okay. The Witcher 3 was like my favorite game last generation, and it's still an impressive game in every respect today. I don't know if there's a game that tops The Witcher 3 for me last generation or even now, like, but if somebody was going to deliver something special, I would think it was going to be CD Projekt Red, and they have delivered something special with this game. But apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last gen consoles before it premiered. It's almost like they're you could think they're saying, "Hey, like we just wanted to present the proper vision that we're having for this game and how we're developing it for PC, and that is a playable version of that game, and it is the best possible version of that game." But, like we just kind of wanted to let that be what you saw through the marketing. I could, you could almost in some sick, twisted way, almost forgive that, except for the fact that the betrayal runs deeper than that. And I do mean betrayal because, okay, there were a lot of things going on leading right up until release. There were like people who downloaded like the base like 59 gigabytes on their Xbox. Then they had to download like a 45 gigabyte file. And then there was talk about maybe another 15 gigabytes. And then like within the days up to release, like it was just a base 59 gigabytes again, with everything rolled in, because those large updates that were happening, as far as I could tell, based on what was being said online at the time, I could be wrong, but they were not sending review copies to people. Now, I have it on good authority from somebody who would know that um some public relations had not been handled the way that they were supposed to, and that's why some people got review copies in enough advance, and some did not. Many people did not get their review codes for this game, did not get them until 2 days before the review embargo was supposed to be lifted for the game. 2 days before, for a allegedly monstrously large game in this large open world, in an atmosphere and a vibe that seems like it might just suck you in the best possible way, right? Here we are. They intentionally, and when they sent out all the review codes, they were PC only. They were PC only. Nobody got console review codes. Nobody. And when they sent out the review codes, they told people, don't use any of your own recorded footage for the review. They went out of their way to hide it. There's no other way to explain what happened there. There's no other way to explain that. They actively hid that from people, and that's shitty, because the base PS4 and Xbox One versions of this game are a dumpster fire. They are a dumpster fire. All you have to do is go to YouTube and look at Digital Foundry's comparison video between the base PS4 version of the game with the PS4 Pro version of that game. And you'll see how bad it could be. Like the PC experience is clearly what they intended to deliver. The last gen console versions were clearly not ready. This game, though, a lot of people make the argument like this is clearly not supposed to be a last gen game, though. This is clearly a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X game. Clearly, that's what it was always meant to be. No, they announced development of this game in 2012. That was 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Obviously, they had their A team working on The Witcher 3 while a smaller B team was probably getting things going for this game. And then eventually after The Witcher 3 came out, they were able to make a smaller team keep working on Witcher 3 improvements and patches and whatnot, probably while main development shifted over to Cyberpunk 2077, which is the smart way to do that. So sure, maybe back then it was, kind of like in this slow gestating, process for a little while before it just exploded and shot off into development. But this was originally meant to launch in April of 2020, which would have been there would have been no PS5. There would have been no Xbox Series X at the time. They delayed it from April into November and then November into December. It was supposed to launch alongside the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and Series X consoles. And it didn't. And you know why? Because we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered. Not allowing you. No, damn well making sure that you could not be allowed to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Like, it's great that they have that whole lip service, hey, we're going to fix bugs and crashes, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh man, and how generous of you to contact you up until December 21st about a refund. Like, and you were even lying to your investors. That's how bad it is. This whole thing, this article speaking earlier this week on Wednesday, that is from an investor's call. That's from the investor's call at that time. 17 days ago, this story went live. 17 days ago. And this game's been out for like a week almost. In a couple of days, it'll be a week. But still, this was only 17 days ago, and they're saying, yeah, everything's fine. Don't worry. Compared to the studio that with a game that was supposed to launch in February, ended up saying previously, we owe you an apology. We set the release date too hastily, and it's a hard lesson, one to take to heart for the future. Well, so much for that. So much for the hard lesson that you learned and one to take to heart for the future. Now, all this said, it's atrocious. I mean, like, this was a company that was a media darling and a consumer darling for this very reason. They were a respectable company that were making great games that were massive and large and had great character development and great open worlds to explore and a lot of great dialogue and action and gameplay. Just it was the whole package, the stuff that they were making. And they seem to do it for a lot less than other studios too. Like The Witcher 3 was just as massive of an open world and arguably even more so than Grand Theft Auto 5 because the top half of the map in Grand Theft Auto 5 is just country. But there's something everywhere in like a game like The Witcher 3 to do. There's always something going on. So they knew what they were doing and they still know how to make a good game, but this was just pushed out the door too early. They should have delayed it again. They had already like pushed it back once and they were like, hey, we're not going to push it back again. And they kind of boxed themselves into this position, but it was more of a let's make the investors happy before Christmas sort of thing, which is just absolutely terrible. It's terrible, but it's doing well on the PC, at least anyway. A lot of people have made the argument about this game running on the PC, and we're loading it up right now. A lot of people have made the argument loading it up on PC like, hey, I can't play this game I can't play this game at like maxed out everything, even though I have like the newest graphics card that came out this year, like a RTX 3080 or something. And it's like, yeah, that's intentional. CD Projekt Red is known for making games that are technologically advanced at the time that they come out. You can run it on lower settings, but those lower settings are usually on par with some of the best stuff you've ever seen.